All right, I'm going to talk about 6.2 today, and that is adding integers. Okay, integers. The book is going to basically go with integers as positive and negative counting numbers and zero. Okay, they will include zero. A lot of people, a lot of times when they're talking about don't really include zero, but for our purposes, we're going ahead and including zero. But we covered this a little bit last year. We've got to get it down this year. Okay, so it was sort of introductory last year in 6th grade. This year we've got to get the rules down. Okay, the first thing we need to talk about before we actually get into the actual problems is the word absolute value. Okay, the absolute value is the distance a number is from zero on a number line. Okay, absolute value is always positive, and it is denoted by two vertical lines like I've drawn there. Okay, so for example, if I was looking for the absolute value of -5, they would have -5, and then beside it they would have two vertical lines. Okay, and what they want to know then is they want to know if I was to graph -5 on a number line, they want to know how many units it is from zero, or the distance it is from zero. Okay, so how many units is -5 from zero? 5. Okay, so obviously it is 5, so the absolute value of -5 is 5. Okay, now the same is true if I were to do this. If I wanted the absolute value of 5, okay, the absolute value of 5 is still 5. Okay, so the absolute value of -5 is 5. The absolute value of 5 is 5. The reason being is because doesn't matter if I'm on the right of 0 or the left of 0, 5 is going to be 5 units from 0. Okay, we have 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units, 4 units, 5 units. Same thing on the other side. 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units, 4 units, 5 units. Okay, I used the example last year of this. If I give $20 to Derek, but then I go, nah, I'm going to take it back. So I take it back from Derek. Okay, Derek was pretty positive about it when I gave him 20, but he's probably pretty negative about it when I took the 20 back. But the bottom line is, it doesn't matter if I'm giving the 20 or taking the 20 back, it's still worth $20. It doesn't change values. Okay, when I take it back from him, it doesn't mean all of a sudden now it's worth $15. Okay, a $20 bill is always worth a $20 bill. Whether you lose it or whether you gain it, it's still $20. Okay, the reason we've got to know about absolute value is because of the rules for adding integers. Okay, let's look at the rules for adding integers. Now, it's very important that you memorize these rules, okay, because they will be seen in adding and subtracting integers when we talk about subtracting tomorrow. Okay, the rules for adding integers, the first one is this. Okay, when you add two positive integers, the answer is positive. Okay, this is what you've been doing, basically since kindergarten. If we have 3 plus 4, 3 plus 4 is obviously 7. Okay, we don't put a positive sign with the 7. The only sign that we actually put with the numbers is the negative sign. I know in 6th grade last year we talked about in the 6th grade book, they put positives in front of the numbers. You're not going to see that anymore. Okay, they won't put positive in front of the numbers. If there's no negative sign in front of the number, then it is assumed to be positive. All right, so that's rule number 1. Rule number 2. When we add two negatives, the answer is negative. Okay, when you add two negatives, the answer is negative. Okay, so if we have this then, if I have negative 5 plus negative 3, you simply add the 5 and the 3 together and get 8. And then since there's two negative signs, the answer is negative. So it's negative 8. So you do basically the exact same thing you do with two positives. It's just in the end, you put a negative sign with it. You just add the two numbers together, okay, and then put the negative sign with it. All right, so that's rule number 2. The last rule is the more complicated rule, and it is when you add a positive and a negative, the answer will be the sign of the larger absolute value. Okay, now this is the one that is different. Okay, it's different in this fact. When we're adding a positive and a negative, for example, if I had negative 27 plus 10, the first step, I'll put it as A, you subtract the larger absolute value from the smaller absolute value. Okay, so we must first of all take the absolute value of both numbers. We only do this when it's a positive and a negative. Doesn't matter if the positive's first or the negative's first, you still use the same steps. So we got to take the absolute value and we're going to subtract the larger absolute value from the smaller one. Okay, or I reversed that. The smaller one from the larger one. Okay, now, the absolute value of negative 27 is 27. The absolute value of positive 10 is 10. And we're going to subtract those two numbers. What is 27 minus 10? 17. Now, the larger absolute value was the negative 27. So I keep the sign that was with the larger absolute value. So that makes it negative 17. If this problem would have been reversed, let's say it would have been this, 27 plus negative 10. Now the parentheses have nothing to do with the problem. They're just making sure that you understand that it's a negative number. Okay? There's not multiplication, it's not any of that. They're just making sure that you understand it's a negative. Eventually they will write it like that. Okay? Those two problems are equivalent to each other. Okay? One's just got the parentheses, one doesn't have the parentheses. Now, you still do the same thing with this problem. We still take the absolute value of 27 and the absolute value of negative 10. Well, the absolute value of 27 is still 27. The absolute value of negative 10 is 10. We're going to subtract the two. 27 minus 10, and then the larger absolute value is positive. So it's just a positive answer. Okay, so those are the two types of positive and negatives. It does not matter which one is listed first. Okay, it has nothing to do, well, the negative is listed first, so I do, no, it has nothing to do with that. All right, so let's look at another one. Let's say I had 5 plus negative 20. Okay, once again, they'll separate it like that in the book. Okay, 5 plus negative 20. Well, I've got to take the absolute value of 5 and the absolute value of negative 20. Absolute value of 5 is 5. The absolute value of negative 20 is 20. And I subtract them. 20 minus 5 is what? 15. The larger absolute value is the negative. So I'm going to put a negative sign with my answer. So the answer is negative 15. Okay? Now, it does not matter if there is more than one number. For example, if I have negative 4 plus negative 1 plus negative 5. You still, our associative property tells us that we can only do two numbers at one time. There's no way to add all three of those numbers at one time. Okay, so I'm just going to do these two first. So, I have negative 4 plus negative 1. Two negatives mean I do what? Add, right? I add the two numbers. So I add 4 and 1, and that is 5. And that is negative 5, because there was two negative signs. Plus negative 5. So once again, I still have two negatives, so I simply add those two numbers together and get 10 and bring down the negative sign. And that gives me negative 10. Okay? The other way that you might want to look at it is look at the number line. Some people understand it better if we do a number line. Okay, so let's say we have a number line. Well, that number line messed up. I don't care. And 0 there. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, negative 8, negative 9. Okay? Let's say I had this. Let's say I had negative 5 plus 12. Okay? Negative 5 plus 12. Well, if I start at 0 right here, and I move to negative 5 on the number line. Well, negative 5 is to the left. So I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm right here. So I went from here to there. Now I've got to go 12 positive. Okay? Well, 12 positive means I go back to the right 12 units. So that would be 1 all the way to here is 5. So that means I have 7 units left. And so that means I would come out here to 7. And that's where I would stop. So the answer to this problem is 7. Okay, and that's how you can see it on a number line. The other way that, I've always talked about is money. Okay, if I got mad and went over there and, slapped Derek around a little bit and took $5 from him, okay, Derek wouldn't be too happy about that. He'd be pretty negative about that. But the next day I felt bad because I sort of slapped him around a little bit, so I gave him back $12. All right? So Derek made $7 out of the deal. Okay, he's pretty pumped up about that. All he had to do is take a little slapping, and he made $7. All right? So that's another way to look at it. Negative, somebody's taking money from you. Positive, somebody's giving you money. Okay? And so that's another way to look at it. All right, now, everybody go to the board. All right. All right, first one. -4 plus -19. All right, 2 negatives. You add the 2 numbers together, so you get -23. Okay. This one, -18 plus +7. -18 plus +7. Joshua, which one has the larger absolute value? Then it needs to have what in your answer? There you go. All right. Seven plus 6 plus -3. No, said 3. -3, actually. All right. You got 10. All right. Absolute value of -5 and 4. I want to know which one is greater. I want to know what sign goes in the blank. I want to know what sign goes in the blank. Not positive or negative. I need to know what sign.
Like what, greater than or less than sign?
Guys, it's on the screen. You need to copy it down like it's on the screen. That's how we decide. That's how we know that's absolute value. What's your answer, Nicole? It is. Because the absolute value is never negative, it's positive, so the absolute value of negative 5 is 5. So 5 would be greater than 4. Okay? Now, yeah, the absolute value of negative 9 and the absolute value of negative 2, and we need to know which one is greater. All right. All right. Your homework. Still got 20 minutes in class, so you should be able to get most of it done. All right. 6.2, 15 through 32. (34 through 44). And 49 through 57. Okay, like I said, you got almost 20 minutes left, so get started on it and get most of it done.